Have you ever wondered why, no matter how much money you make, it feels like you can't get ahead? Chances are you're wasting money without even realizing it. In this video, I'm going to break down the three biggest money mistakes I see people making all the time. Mistakes that quietly drain your bank account, keep you in debt, and make it almost impossible to build wealth. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to stop doing with your money, what to start doing, and how to take control of your finances starting today. So if you've ever felt like your money just disappears, stick around. I promise this is going to change the way that you think about your money. Now let's start with one of the most common and most overlooked money mistakes: keeping money in a checking account. At the time of recording this video, the average inflation rate in the United States is currently at 2.4%. What that means is, if your money has just been sitting in your checking account for the past year, it's actually worth less today than it was a year ago. In other words, if something cost $100 last year, it now costs about $102.40. If your money just sits in a checking account earning 0 or 0.1% interest, you can't buy as much with that same dollar as you could a year ago. So even though it feels like you're saving money, you're not. You're slowly losing it. And I see this all the time with my friends and some of my coworkers. People think they're doing the right thing by playing it safe, not spending any money, but in reality, their money is just losing value in the background. While most people are aware of the concept of inflation, a much smaller amount actually realizes how much value their money is losing when it's sitting in a checking account. So what should you do instead? At the very least, your savings should be put in a high yield savings account, or HYSA for short. These accounts pay significantly higher interest than a normal checking or traditional savings account, which typically pay out next to nothing, fractions of a percent in interest. For example, I use Marcus by Goldman Sachs, and right now it's paying around 3.65% APY. That means the money sitting in that account is actually growing, and more importantly, it's keeping up with inflation, even outpacing it, instead of losing value. Interest rates are subject to change, but in most cases, an HYSA is your best option for saving money and protecting it from inflation. There are a lot of solid, high yield savings accounts out there, so it's worth finding one that works for you. If you're interested, I have an invite link for Marcus posted down in the description below, so feel free to go check that out. It's very simple to open an account, and it can be all done online in just a few minutes. Let's talk about another major mistake: taking on unnecessary debt. This is something I see all the time when I talk to people about their finances. And the biggest offender? Car loans. A lot of people want the newest car. They don't want to be seen driving something older or used, so they take on loans that quietly set them back for years. The average new car right now is pushing $50,000, and I personally know people making average incomes who are paying over $700 a month for their car. $700 a month for something that's losing value every single day. That's not just a car payment, that's a massive chunk of your income locked up in a depreciating asset. Society makes us feel like we need the newest car to look successful. True success is the person who isn't stressed about a $700 bill every month for the next 5 years. You don't need a brand new car. There's still plenty of reliable cars that will get you from point A to point B without draining your finances. Now, I get it. Cars aren't optional for most people. If you don't live in a major city with good access to public transportation, you need one to get to work, to see your friends, to just have a life. I've been there too. When my old Toyota Camry finally died, I had to replace it. I love that car, but the repairs cost more than the value of the car, and I needed something reliable to get me to and from work. But I didn't go out and buy something brand new. I bought used, put money down, and made a plan to pay it off quickly, not stretch it out over 5 years. Because your goal shouldn't be to look wealthy, it should be to stay financially flexible. Ideally, the best car you can own is one you can afford to buy outright. Now, let's talk about the other big one: Credit card debt. This is where things can really spiral out of control. A lot of people treat their credit limit like it's extra money, but it's not. It's borrowed money with extremely high interest. Some credit cards are charging 25, even 30+% APR. So if you're carrying a balance, it's not just sitting there, it's growing against you. If you have credit card debt, that should be your number one priority to pay off right now. I'll go deeper into how to use credit cards the right way in another video, but for now, just know this. High interest debt is one of the fastest ways to stay broke, no matter how much you make. Most importantly, it's near impossible to pay off debt or even find money to contribute to a savings account if you don't actually know where all of your money is going. That brings us to the biggest mistake of all, coasting blindly without a budget. Wasting money is easy if you aren't keeping track of how much you're spending or where it's going. If you're not tracking your spending, your money just disappears. A subscription here, eating out there, it can add up fast. And this is probably the most important thing that you can fix, because once you start tracking your money, everything else gets easier. Now there's a few ways to do this. You can keep it simple and just use a spreadsheet. Go through your bank transactions and track where your money is going each month. There are also a number of different apps such as Rocket Money, Monarch, or Simplify, which you can link up to your bank accounts and cards to track and categorize your spending. Personally, I do both. I use Rocket Money to put all of my transactions into one place, and then I plug those numbers into a personal spreadsheet that I built for my budget. This helps me to control the amount I spend on certain things like subscriptions, eating out, and entertainment. That way, I can ensure that I have the money that I need to cover all of my required monthly expenses and still have money left over to put into savings for an emergency fund, pay down my student loans, or invest. And I've seen how powerful this is firsthand. I've had friends tell me they feel stuck, like no matter how much they make, they can't get ahead. But when I talk to those friends, the most common thread between them is that they didn't have a budget. I encouraged one of them to start budgeting, and I even shared my personal spreadsheet that I use with him. He found out that he was spending way too much money on entertainment, eating at restaurants, or ordering takeout. This friend was also spending hundreds of dollars on Magic the Gathering cards, which he probably figured out on his own. But when he created a budget and tracked his spending, it really clicked for him. He realized how much waste was going towards buying these packs, which is essentially gambling, but that's a whole other topic. He didn't quit buying these cards, but he was able to cut back on his spending while still enjoying his hobby. Everyone has their thing. It might not be Magic cards, it could be takeout, subscriptions, Amazon, but if you're not tracking it, you won't see it. And if you don't see it, you can't fix it. So if you do nothing else after this video, do this. Start tracking your money. That's it. Don't need a perfect system. Just track what's coming in and what's going out. In another video, I'm going to break down exactly how I set up my budget, but you can start today even without that. So just to recap, the 3 biggest ways that I've seen people waste their money are holding on to money in a checking account. It's constantly losing its value to inflation, taking on unnecessary debt, and not having a budget. The good news is that this is all preventable and fixable. You don't have to correct your mistakes all at once. Start small. Move your money into a high yield account. Be intentional with debt. Only borrow for things that truly matter. And most importantly, start tracking your spending. Because once you see where your money is going, the rest becomes obvious. You gain control. You start building wealth instead of losing it. If you take just one step today, even if it's tracking every expense for a week, you're already ahead of most people. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below with suggestions for future videos. I'll be uploading at least one new video a week on similar topics, so please stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.